Lumintop X9L. Maybe the coolest flashlight of all that I've reviewed this year. This is a real pocket searchlight that combines lots of coolest features. It is quite compact, it stores 21700 battery, it has flexible and real user interface, and SBT90 LED with crazy power and throw, good brightness stabilization as well. And for me this is the winning combination that makes Lumintop FW X9L one of the best in the whole FW line and must buy for any flashaholic. Just check the link below video if you would like to buy it. And let's start from the most interesting part, how it illuminates, and I will also tell you my overall impressions right from the start. And all my impressions are completely positive. That is awesome thing that you just want to turn on again and again. The flashlight is still compact enough to fit in almost any pocket, and at the same time, with its brightness and throw, it is able to outshine many significantly larger and more expensive models. Of course, the maximum brightness at this size will not be long, the flashlight will heat up, but during the time that I've been using it, I have no reason to consider turbo mode as decorative. Yes, 15 seconds is not really long, but during this time you can highlight almost everything you need, and then the brightness will decrease gradually, and at the same time it also shines very brightly. It is worth remembering that a much longer lasting 7th or sailing mode, like high mode, will cover the vast majority of needs in terms of brightness and throw. So turbo mode here will be more of emergency reserve, and when you need it, you can easily turn pocket-sized flashlight into a real full-scale searchlight with brightness and throw that will make everyone around forget any flashlight they've seen before. What else sets the Lumintop X9L apart from other models? It is real flexible user interface, excessively flexible for many, I speak honestly. But if you don't have plans to go deep into the settings, then there will be no difficulties at all. Stabilization. This is a critical characteristic for me, and other FW models that I've tested had worse stabilization. X9L has brightness that is stabilized really well. Flashlight has natural white color temperature around 5000 kelvins. It is really good for throw and will not reflect from fog and dust like cold white models. The hotspot and tolerable side light does not make this flashlight useless at close range, although of course it begins to show itself best at a distance from about 5 meters. In fact, for me, the only downside to this model is its simple design. But this is not functional disadvantage, but I'm sure such simplicity made it possible to reduce the price of a flashlight, which is also good for buyers. In the meantime, from the point of view of real use, I don't see any drawbacks, and I think that Lumintop X9L SBT90 is an extremely successful model, certainly the best for me from the entire FW line, and it is one of the most interesting flashlight that I've got in my hands. As you can see, throw here is really crazy. It easily covers distance like 450 meters, and I would really expect the throw of like 600 meters and maybe more. And after you've seen this part that show how flashlight illuminates, let's check flashlight appearance, and after this there will be some runtime charts. Let's check how long flashlight works in each mode, and the final part of review will contain also extra pics that show how flashlight works. So make sure you watch the video until the very end. Package is the most simple, just box with a minimal design, and set includes flashlight itself, huge sheet of manual, pair of O-rings, 18650 2100 700 conversion tube, and unusual but convenient rubber stop ring. Flashlight is extremely compact for such huge brightness and throw. It is definitely shorter, mostly due to the different tail button than the wonderful budget thrower Sapphire C8G. As something comparable in size, I can only name Nightcore TM9K or TM10K, but they are far worse in throw and user interface, and they cost much more. The size and perhaps the large cooling fins are the only things that sets FW21 X9L apart from the rest of the models in the lineup. The rest of design is the same. It's the same steely gray smooth body without any decorations. The flashlight can be disassembled into 3 parts, but manufacturer warns not to unscrew the tail cap. The current in turbo is extremely high, 25 amperes stated, and the contact should be as tight as possible. With all its flexible user interface, flashlight is controlled only by single tail button. A medium-sized round metal button is located in the small depression. It does not protrude outward. The spring in the tail cap is quite thick. It is rimmed with a slip ring for an additional sleeve, which is pressed into the primary body to transfer signal from button. The thread is well lubricated. Yes, there is no knurling, the body is smooth, but the flashlight sits perfectly in the hand due to the shape, as it has clip and there is also rubber stop ring, so the grip is good. The head is medium size with deep cooling fins. Unlike previous models, the bezel is glued and cannot be unscrewed. Glass is usual one, tempered with anti-reflection coating. Reflector is smooth, of course, with the most powerful luminous SBT90 LED underneath. What's the bottom line? This flashlight will not attract anyone with its simple appearance, and it may be left untouched on the store shelf. But this is not a flashlight for the general public. Its audience are people who understand what they are buying. User interface is well known and real. The default is tapless brightness adjustment, and you can switch it to usual stepped one with 7 modes and turbo mode. So that's a really good interface. Lumintop X9L is a pure searchlight. It has bright wide center and quite tolerable side light. What's nice is the color temperature, as I mentioned, which is about 5000 kelvins or a little bit higher. For its size and output, the flashlight shows wonderful runtime chart, long lasting and with good stabilization that doesn't decrease with battery discharge. Turbo mode, of course, heats up and falls down quickly. This is not an overtly sort of blitz, but you shouldn't expect X9L to work non-stop at turbo. Surprisingly, such an obvious moment as thermal or timed step down is a real revelation for lots of people who religiously believe in specs like turbo lasts 2 hours and a half. As for the light as such, even the minimum first of 7 mode gives light that is clearly visible at a distance of like 20 meters. Decent walk around light starts already from 3rd of 7 mode. I walked around with Lumintop X9L for several evenings, and I can say that exceptionally long lasting and not very bright mode turned out to be really practical. 4th mode is a level that you can safely rely on a distance of about 50 meters and the whole night long run time in this mode. Whatever you name it, sailing, high mode, 7th mode, you can still see the effect of cooling with which the brightness stays at the same level. And for walk around needs, this mode turned out to be in general excessive mode like turbo. These 2 modes will be useful only for large areas when it's necessary to illuminate at a good distance and at the same time not to lose side light. Of course, with such a crazy brightness, and let me remind you, there are 6500 lumens, the head heats up quickly, so you can feel some kind of cooling effects, perhaps only when you use flashlight in winter. By the way, manufacturer stated that flashlight consumes 25 amperes at maximum, and at the same time I didn't see any significant difference between the expensive high drain battery and frankly budget medium current lithium battery. This review is first on my channel because I've just started it, but I can tell you that I've reviewed like more than 200 flashlight in last 5 years, so I know what I'm talking about. And this flashlight is one of the most interesting model that I've held in hands, and perhaps the coolest flashlight that I've held in hands this year. Lumintop did great job on it. If you like this flashlight and want to buy it, All the links to stores where you can do it are below video. I also have non-English language channel, but I decided to support English-speaking flashlight fanatics and just created this channel. So I hope you can also support me with like and subscription, and don't forget to click bell button not to miss next review, which will be AceBeam L17, sort of Jedi laser sword. See you!